it for YouTube. Let me also let the teams know that I'm going to be casting them. So, we're a community of bugs. Okay, I pinged the teams. So, with that, we'll throw it over to Bandit Cam. We'll get ourselves some hot water. I'm going to run to the bathroom, and then we're going to get going into another Best of 3 series. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. Alrighty, we are all back. I've got water, I've got tea. And Paleo has already made that a GIF. So thank you so much, Kaleo, for making that into a GIF. That's actually really, really good. Thank you. All of that's good. None of this, none of that. Okay, cool. Let's go ahead and get into our replay. Oh, wait, wrong one. Hold on, that's set up for that. This one. There we go. On the left-hand side, we have got the members of Lubu, with Alan Hicks going to be on the Artanis. We're going to be having Makrata going to be on the Joanna. We'll be having Streakwing going to be on the Rhaegar. Bandit will be on the Kael'thas, and VDZ on the Cassia. On the right-hand side, we've got the members of Jailbait, with Joe DiMaggio on the Phoenix. We're going to be having Fragastellar on the Maiev. H2O will be on the Anubarak. Galaxy will be on the Li Ming, and Skay will be on the Stukov. Sorry, I'm checking way too many things at once. It looks like, okay, all of that's all set. I don't need to worry about any of that. So let's go ahead and pull this in and out for game number 1 in this best of 3 series between Lubu and Jailbait. Let's see here. What do we have at level 1? We don't have Thunderstroke from the Cassie. We're going to go having Seraphine's Hymn. Adaptation. So trying to, I think, get more of the blinds out there as much as possible. And Cassie actually notably very strong on this map for the Immortal Burn. Really, really strong hero for that. But we also have Bonds of Justice for the Mayab, so we're going to be trying to get those tethers as much as possible. Nice, and getting 3 right there. You can already see those stacks going off, but going to be a lot of the bomb spread going to be coming out from Bandit here. Nice use there, as my dog continues to be confused by the fact of me yelling his name at the computer screen. Joe DiMaggio goes into top lane against Alan Hicks. That will be the Protoss versus the Protoss. We'll see what this ends up looking like. And I noted this in the series that we just had, actually. It's been said that, you know, melee into range is often a difficult thing. We'll see how that actually works out in that solo lane, especially with Artanis being able to dive and get some extra damage into some of those backline members very easily with swaps. And just like that, unfortunately, it's not going to be connecting. Also, Joe DiMaggio does have that blink, so they're going to be able to jump out with that if they do so choose. Going to be holding over this bottom lane. Well, I'm waiting for the dive, but not just yet. It looks like we're just going to be having this held over. Going to be stacking up some quests as best they can. The only 2 quests we actually have in the game are that Bonds of Justice, as I noted before, and the Mana Addict for that Kael'thas. Dive in from Cassia onto H2O. Going to be taking a lot of damage. Blinds go out as well from the Joanna. Between the Cassia and the Joanna, that's a lot of just autos mitigated from Fragastellar, but fortunately they didn't. It's going to come down to, you know, Fan of Knives resets are going to still put out a lot of damage if they do group up around those things. Swap goes in. As I said before, that's the blink. Now, they don't have that blink for the disengage and distance here, but you can already see that they're putting out a lot of damage around them. And they'll be able just to get the swaps into that with the the mobile offense. I thought it was actually advanced artillery at level 1. I thought they had gone for the extra damage on the swap from the repeater gun to their, I can't remember the AoE. Either way, that's going to be a lot of damage coming out of a couple of these members. Bandit taking a lot of damage. Fan of Knives reset. Kael'thas goes down. Makrata is going to be taking a lot, but Anubrak is going to be traded out. So 1 for 1 so far. Still fighting over this point. Makrata is looking to make a way into this. Galaxy in the backline is getting a lot of damage done. 3 kills in favor for the members of Lubu. And this top lane getting pushed in, but they have the Immortals popping up here fairly soon. The camp is going to be grabbed, and it is going to be pressuring up here. Galaxy's going to be getting the clear, but Cassie going to make this a little bit difficult, keeping that lane pressured up, as well as poking out onto that Li Ming, making her life a little bit more difficult, as you can see right there. Even just using that Fen just as on her back. H2O is going to be engaging soon, and they'll have that Impale as well as the Burrow if they do try and at least make VDZ's life a little difficult. But we go over to the Immortal, which is going to be burned down here, at least so far, by the members of Lubu. This is also going to be a decent chase onto VDZ, but they're going to be chasing into the friendly team. Nice gravity well coming out from Bandit. Looks like they're not able to dive in any further than that, but they do have a small lead in favor for Lubu. They have the swap onto Joe DiMaggio, who does get the blink out in time, not taking a lot of damage. Makrata going to get pulled in with that Bonds of Justice. That Armor Bind from Fragastellar, very powerful. Healing Totem going to be coming out from Rhaegar, and that will be the halfway point in favor for Lubu. VDZ taking some damage, but manages to get out before that combo connects, and now they're going to have to play this on the defensive side. You can see Galaxy's going to be trying to dump out some damage on the side here and there, but the rest of the team is going to be sitting around this point, making sure that they don't give this over easily, at least, while the Li Ming can get the value that they're looking for. And they can chunk pretty well. I mean, she is going to be able to get those magic missiles and orbs out here and there, but now you can see that Bandit and friends making their way in, trying to find the last little bit of damage. Healing Totem does come out. Streakwing will be able to have that just extra healing on top of the chain heal they can put out, and now you can already see it. It's burned down 10,000 shielding on this Immortal. They try and find a swap right at the end, but unfortunately it's not going to be there. I'm waiting, like I was waiting for it. I was just like, are we going to get it? Are we going to get that swap engagement? Are you going to be able to stagger out of death and push in with this? Not the case. Top lane does have our Immortal moving in at this point, and now you can go ahead and see what they'll be able to do with this. Yo, 2D, thanks for coming by. How you doing, bud? Glad to have you here. Okay, just making sure I wasn't missing something Discord something. H2O a little far out here. Going to be dove on by a couple of the members. Sevens are also here in favor for the members of Lubu. H2O with the Impale. Trying to zone here. Nice use of the Immortal, just getting some damage out as well. And I'm waiting to see, do they dive in? Do they try and take a fight here? That will be Fragastellar getting knocked back, but no. They're just kind of zoning here. Meanwhile, Artanis is in that bottom lane. They will be picking up some decent experience, but a Nubrak with a nice burrow in. They start to take a lot of damage themselves, but they're getting a huge... No, a Nubrak goes down, but that will be Kael'thas as well, so 1-for-1 trade. It seems like a lot of the fights are going that way. They're getting one member killed, and realistically, it's kind of the same thing on the other side. It's just trading out a tank for an assassin here and there. Now we just have this top lane getting pressured up, and they need to force them back on the side of Lubu. Li Ming has some good poke into this, and Stukov is able just to keep them alive with that pustule consistently. The only thing is that a Nubrak was just a little too far forward from the ability for them to go ahead and grab and help out, or well, at least heal and help out. But now, H2O's back. The death timers are not that low in this game. See if they're able to make an advance onto this, but it doesn't seem like that's their goal at the time. This top lane, I'm waiting for this because you can see that their positioning is they want to go and they want to enter in on this. They want to try and push in as best they can. Doing well. Can't find much time to cast myself. A team keeps me busy. But at the same time, that's pretty good, though. Keeping busy with the team is always fun. Glad to have you checking out some games, though. Oh, we do have the Bruiser Camp picked up, and I was just about to say, we're going to be having the Immortals fairly soon, so the timing for that is really, really on point. I think it's also going to be Cassia trying to stall that out. Swap goes out onto Joe DiMaggio on this bottom lane. They do go ahead and just get the blink out, and now we're seeing pings coming out from a lot of members. Looks like this is going to be the replay file for Jailbait, because I do believe the replay file saves whoever's team it was on, saves their pings and such like that, so this just will be... Camp picked up on their side. 10's very close, and they actually go ahead and grab their camp right as the Immortal pops. That will also be 10's achieved. Ancestral healing. Oh my god, I'm blanking on the name. Suppression Pulse, there we go. Valkyrie actually for the Cassia. We have Blessed Shield from the Joanna and Phoenix from the Kael'thas. 10's though, you can see that the 10's are slowly being achieved by the members of Jailbait, and so they're saying, you know what, let's just spread our Phoenix in bottom lane, our Nubrak in top to get some clear, and they pick up the 10's themselves with this halfway mark already hit. Massive shove for the Stukov, Disintegrate for the Li Ming. We have the Web Rep for the Nubrak to put one member out of commission. Warden's Cage for the Maiev, and we have the Purification Salvo, and H2O stepping up really far here. Will be just meandering their way out of this. They are getting some decent damage themselves on the side of Jailbait. Condemn pulling in Fragastellar. Valkyrie comes in. It doesn't connect onto anyone. They've effectively zoned them off of their Immortal. Now they go over to the enemy side, and they want to re-engage right onto this. They're trying to get some plays, and nice swap goes out, and actually stops Alan Hicks from getting the swap over. That will be the Warden's Cage pulling a couple members in. Ancestral Healing goes out onto one. Joanna will be Web Wrap. That will be Bandit taking a lot of the Purification stuff while the Chain Heal goes out, and that actually will be Artanis going down in the back line over here. Makrota will be getting out of the Web Wrap and needs to find a way out of here as quickly as possible. Is going to pop that Iron Skin, and that will be ending now, and now they can have a couple slows if they can manage to get that CC. They do try and poke at them, but they only get the kill onto the Artanis. Oh, Fragastellar looking to get that extra little damage with that ability, but unfortunately not going to be happening. They move over to their enemy Immortal, and they start to get the burn onto this, and now they try and rotate really quickly. VDZ and Bandit are trying to make their way onto this. They've got some decent damage. Once you see this bar going down, you would expect them to make the quick rotation, but they're not going to be able to race this out. Cassia is going to be way too quick for them, and they still end up getting this over on the side of Lubu. Jailbait needs to reposition and defend their bottom lane. Hold on, Artanis with the swap, or at least the attempt. Fragastellar taking a lot of damage. They're getting very slow here. That will be the Vault of the Warden to keep them safe. Valkyrie pulls nobody in time, and that will just be the Immortal charging up and going into the bottom lane. Phoenix will be in top, and we will also have the Artanis joining them to just make sure that pressure isn't capped, untouched. Basically just making sure that there's going to be some sort of check into Joe DiMaggio up here. But bottom lane, Immortal has already lost its shielding and moves into melee range and starts to step up and try and go in for a little bit more here. Bottom lane keep is going to be taking, bottom lane fort's going to be taking quite a bit of damage here. Fragastellar. They need to play this a little bit safe. It's still 11-11, but look at this flank from Joe DiMaggio coming out. Anubarak with the burrow forward, trying to get that purification salvo at some point. There goes the swipe onto almost every member. That is going to be a lot of damage onto Bandit. They do also have the Warden's Cage. Phoenix goes out. A lot of buttons are pushed here, but no one going to be going down. Oopsie, did not mean to do that. There we go. Here's the thing. With all that chasing, all of that in bottom lane, that gave Artanis free play in top lane. They're going to be taking down this fort. Phoenix will be able to come up here, but I think Alan Hicks can either just keep going. Phoenix backs off. They don't blink too far. That will be the condemned. They don't get the swap there. That will be VDZ with the flank and the dive, and Phoenix does go down. They do manage to grab the camp in bottom lane on the side of Jailbait, but they give over a fort and their Phoenix, and this will be top lane camp picked up as well. Hey, how's it going? I'm just going to call you H2O. How you doing? Glad to see you in chat. This is not against Gilly Shark. What is happening? Did the, is the title not updated? Hold on, let me refresh my page. No, it should be Lubu versus Jailbait as my title. Oh, did you miss the live game? Yeah, the live game was literally like 58 minutes long for both matches. So I was like, well, let's grab at least a replay cast and see where the night takes us. Sorry, I juked myself, Tootie. I didn't read the message fully. The live match has already happened. This is a replay because the live match was about an hour, and I didn't feel like just casting one match tonight. So we're gonna be casting a replay, and then we'll see where we are and what time it is. But either way, Immortals will be spawning in the next 7 seconds here. Bottom lane pressure going in. They could invade onto the right-hand side. No, they don't go for it. Both teams just setting up for straight burn onto the Immortal, and they just want to race this out. Camps will be pressuring the lanes respectively. Top lane will be a little more stalled out and in favor for the members of Lubu because they do have the catapult pressure up there. Okay. So there's like a 60-second delay, and I looked over at stream and I was like, okay, so I should be conveying the fact that okay, yeah. What I actually understood from that. But either way, they want to go in on this as hard as possible, but H2O trying to find an angle in the back line. I'm waiting here for this engage, but it doesn't seem to be happening too quickly. H2O looking for an angle. That will be the web wrap onto the Joanna. They have the purification salvo onto almost everybody. That will be the blow up on the Stukov, but actually Cassia going down as well. Bandit so low. They do drop that Phoenix, and that will be the Blessed Shield. The Ancestral Healing will be connecting in time. Fragastar so low, needing to use the Vault of the Warden to make sure they get out. That also with the blink in their favor, but they leave two members behind a little bit low as Galaxy trying to dump that damage, but very low on mono themselves. They back out of here, and it looks like it's going to be reset time for both teams, as this will be the top lane going to be addressed by the members of Lubu and bottom lane by the members of Jailbait. Now they move over to the side, and they can see this. The blinds go out. Cassia's back as well as the Stukov. Top lane fort has like a sliver of health on it. But until they get that sliver, there's no catapult pressure going to be going over Immortal. They're just going in straight for the race. They say, we don't care if we die. The silence is really big, though, from the Stukov. They're trying to stay alive. Artanis does go down. That will be the web wrap onto the Joanna below, as VDZ is so low here. No reset for the Li Ming, and this Immortal has 1,000 health. The Phoenix is actually going to be finishing this out because it just will auto onto that Immortal. Valkyrie does pull the Phoenix right back into the fight. The Fend is going to be there. They get the kill onto Phoenix. That also will be Cassia going down. Galaxy getting these resets in this later half of the fight is so big for them, but unfortunately, they're not able to find another. A 3-for-1 trade. The Immortal going over in favor for the members of Lubu. Push in through top lane. 16-7 been hit here for the members of Lubu, and with those couple kills that actually brought them back in and closer to that 16 talent tier, as well as the even on the side of Jailbait. So this should be an easy free clear. They might lose the gate. Lunch Bunch doing well in Div B, big jump for them. Is that what Lubu stands for? Is Lunch Bunch? Because that's so good if it is. That's just so good if it is. Bottom camp going to be picked up, and I would actually expect to see the priority into the siege camp here just to make sure that the top lane catapult pressure is going to be pushed back. But here's the thing. They actually see that this entire team is going to be pushing in through bottom lane. They don't want to allow that to happen. Look at H2O looking for that flank. All the town, all the 16 to 16s. Hey, night. Unfortunately, there's no bracket. I need to take away that command right now. There's no bracket because this is the Nexus Gaming Series. This is it's an 8-week league, and so you are going to be having a round robin type. Everyone plays each other. You get points, and then you go into the playoffs from there. I do believe I popped a link in Twitch chat for the website for the Nexus Gaming Series. But either way, we have the Valkyrie coming in. Not will actually pulling in the Leaming all the way. That will be the Vault or the Warden's Cage. There's so much damage going out onto the members of Lubu. They take out the Artanis as well as the Kael'thas here. They find a Joanna that's going to be the Cassia down as well. Streakwing is the only one left alive. VDZ actually complements the combo, and they get the Rhaegar as well. That is the play that the members of Jailbait wanted to. Lubu is Lunch Bunch. Oh my god, that just changed everything. I wish I knew that that was their name. That was such a good name. Immortals will be spawning here in the next 10 seconds. And we are going to just be having top lane pressure with the Bruiser camp. And with the with everyone coming back, 3 members. With basically everyone back up, they should be able to make it in by the time of the halfway mark, but they are going to be having to probably go on the defensive side for this. It is going to be that 16 talents here as well. At least, I don't know if I showed those. But either way, we are going to be having that. And where's the engage? They're moving in on this. That will be a Nubrak stalling it out for a couple seconds. Artanis trying to get a swap. They do manage to get onto H2O. The burrow is going to be available. Artanis still trying to dive out. And VDZ and friends need to make sure that they actually deny this. Web rep went out as well. They burned that out very quickly. Top lane does have pressure. That's just going to be taking down a free fort. You can't really do too much about that. They leave Artanis onto this by themselves, which is not the bad idea at all. It's exactly what you want to do in some of these situations, so that way you just can still get some damage and also maybe forces the enemy team to start chasing you a little bit. But here we actually have the fight breaking out. Warden's Cage does go out, and it's going to be so much damage on the Fragastellar, who gets out with just 80 some health. The Rhaegar trying to chase in with that bite on the butt. They get it, and that will be the Maiev going down. Now we see this fight re-engaging down here. VDZ so very low. H2O is going to be the same. They do have the burrow out, but unfortunately I do not think... Oh, they pop the shielding. Purification salvo goes out and just barely able to get out of there on the side of Lubu. But here's the thing, with all that, they still end up losing out on onto the Immortal. It's a lot of shielding going out. They do get the keep in bottom lane for the camp as well as the catapult pressure, so now they have that consistently through the bottom lane, and they also have an Immortal going to the most well-defended lane. I think the story is that their parent scalded them like that during school time. What? I think the story is that their parents called them like that during school. Calling them the Lunch Bunch? I need to know more of this story, Tootie. I feel like I'm just getting just the taste of this story here. We do have a dive in from H2O. A lot of damage going out. Alan Hicks is going to be taking so much. That will be the suppression pulse coming out as well. Makrotosh is able to back out just fine after getting out of that web wrap, and now the Immortal still alive, takes down the fort in bottom and moves through bottom just to try and take out this keep. But here's the thing, it's not that high in health, and wait a minute. I'm waiting for this engage. I thought they were taking out the sidewall and trying to move past that. They have the gate down. Fragastellar is back. And that will be the Immortal going down, so they just back out. They say it's not worth it. It's not worth it's not worth risking it at that point, so let's just back out. We'll go ahead and grab some camps. 20s. So close. Hold on. I'm looking at these pings. I was trying to take a sip of tea. Oh, swap went out, but it didn't connect. H2O, I think, just trying to make sure that they anchor and they don't get invaded on. No one actually starting the camp. That will be the Warden's Cage going out. They are going to use the Purification Salvo as well. A lot of damage comes out, and that will be Artanis getting bodied there. Fragastellar a little bit low. Stukov with the massive shove onto VDZ, but H2O is now by themselves. They actually web wrap the Cassia, which is allowing them to re-engage onto this point. Joanna with just trying to clear this out, but they might have just killed themselves by doing that, and that will be Joanna going down, reset for the Li Ming here, and whew. Oh, called them like that during, okay. I thought they got scalded, and I was just like, they got scalded and got called the lunch bunch? Like, what kind of like antics were they getting into? That would have been actually really good. That it was just like, it was like a lunch gang. Like we do all of our mischief between the hours of noon and 1 when our school allows us to get out. Sorry, I'm enjoying this. Alrighty, let's go ahead and get into this bottom lane push. They wanna. It looks like they were trying to end there for a second, but I don't think it's going to be achieved. So they just back out. Top lane does have some decent pressure that they'll need to respond to. They also, oh wait, the way they're sharking around makes me feel like they want to try and take it as a fight while they have the slight window of advantage. Just posturing around this.
I fight for the glory of the high heavens.
And without their 20s, they don't want to take this fight. And you can see that they're trying to just get that through the camp on the left-hand side here. They're going to have to, I think, give this over to the halfway phase. Maybe even not the halfway phase. That doesn't push them into the 20s. That will be the Valkyrie coming up. Blinds go onto the Maiev. A lot of damage will be there. That will be suppressed as well. Purification Salvo connects onto quite a few, but it doesn't get the burst they're looking for. Chain Bomb will go out onto a couple, and that will be as much damage as they get out. This top lane pressure, this is exactly what I was talking about. This is going to need to be responded to at a point. You can see once they actually do that, they can really, really start to go onto this Immortal. They haven't had that set halfway mark yet. Dumping in some damage from Galaxy. Blinds out from the Artanis. That will be Maiev in the backline. That also will be the web wrap onto 1. The Ancestor Healing makes it onto Alan Hicks in time. That also will be the Macrotesh getting out of there out of that in time. Fragga starts taking a bit of damage here. They're chasing this. That will be the slow coming out from the Rhaegar. They do have the Warden's Cage to keep them in there, but Anub'arak does go down here. Joe DiMaggio a little bit low, needs to back off and play it safe, but this will be the first half going over in favor for the members of Lubu. Part of me dies every time I see that Li Ming build, but it's so powerful. No, I mean I get you. It's glass cannon. It's all orb build. I mean on Battlefield of Eternity, I've always, not always, but I've seen a lot of the magic missile build. I will say this: bottom lane, the longer this is delayed out, the better it goes over in favor for Lubu, as they've got so much pressure going in this. 2 catapults don't want to play nice with the for the friendly team. It's still going to be an Immortal with half its shielding 22 minutes into this game, because they scale per minute, making its way into bottom lane. Core didn't take any damage. Shielding went down a little bit. You see Makrata and Streakwing going to be grabbing their well, making sure they're a little more sustained for this fight. Re-engage in just a second and try and go in on this. This could go either way, because if they end up wiping here and the Immortal doesn't get the value out of the core, or they put like they Kalaris core this with a couple % left on it, that could be the members of Jailbait just rushing through bottom and going into the enemy side. We'll see if that's actually the play here. Nubrak gets the dive in, Silence onto 1. They swap H2O away from Bandit. That also will be Purification Salvo connecting. That also is the Ancestor Healing out as well. Alan Hicks taking so much damage here, and the Ancestor Healing pulling them back up to almost full health. But now we have this entire bottom lane pressure going through. Here's the thing though, the Immortal is on the core, and that will be the Suppression Pulse going out as well. They want to try and stall this out, and with the Immortal this healthy, I don't think the burn will be there. This is going to be game number 1 going over to Lubu. GG. Well played. Alright, let's at least show the we can show some of the stats really quickly. Oh, well, I missed a whole... Okay. Whew. 34 stacks on Kael'thas's Mana Addict at the end there. Just wow. That's a lot of stacks. Maiev didn't finish the Umbral Bind or the Bonds of Justice as well. Almost finishing Pin Down. That's a hard one. That's definitely a hard one. Hitting at 4 enemy heroes with, oh god, that's like when you finish like Subdue or something. All right, let's go ahead. Pull it back over here. Hello. So the score currently reads this. Hopefully I don't have to swap the teams over. But let's go ahead. Let's exit out of this replay and get into our game number 2. Stukov half as much healing as Rhaegar. Yikes. Okay. Alright, sorry, I just need to read one thing really quickly. Load into this. Alright, give me 1 second. I just want to make sure I'm not missing anything. Okay, never mind. Never mind. All right, let's go ahead and get into this. On the left-hand side, we have got the members of Lubu, the Lunch Bunch, as I have just found out. Makrata going to be on the Joanna, VDZ going to be on the Sergeant Hammer, Streakwing on that Lucio, Bandit on the Kael'thas, and Alan Hicks on the Imperious. On the right, we have the members of Jailbait trying to take us to that game number 3, H2O on the ETC. Skay is going to be on the Ana. Galaxy going to be on the Ariel, Fragastella going to be on the Vala, and in core we have Joe DiMaggio on the Arthas. Let's go ahead and get into mid lane here. Looks like everyone is making their way, and trying to see some of the unquesting talents here. Mana Addict for the Kael'thas. We have the ETC with Proc Rock. Frost Presence? Yes, for the Arthas. Rooting Heroes with Howling Blast. Dual Second Protection. Range by 30%. Rooting enemies in path. All that good, delicious stuff. We also do have Sacred Sweep for the for Galaxy, just trying to hit members in the center of that. And with VDZ being mounted up, that should be kind of easy for them to do. We'll see if they're able to do that. But with the double healing, this might be a little difficult for the members of Lunch Bunch to really get in and get that damage that they're looking for. Because with Galaxy and Skay doing so much healing, we'll see what they're able to kind of yield with that. It's such a hard thing. That was why double support meta was such a hated thing, is because burst, single target burst was like, yeah, you used to be able to have that, but not really anymore. At least, well, not now you can, but during then it was so hard to get the burst and the damage you wanted to get and actually have fights that yielded something, because, well, you get into so many points where it's just everyone sustains and no one really goes down. Yethos trying to put out some combos onto Fragastellar here, and this Vala play is very good, but they back out. Check back into bottom lane. Joe DiMaggio and Alan Hicks going to be going at it. It seems like Alan Hicks is going to be holding this over for the time being. Just go back into our rotations. We have the objective popping up in the counter for it will be up in about a minute. But the nice thing with VDZ here with these rotations is it's allowing them to kind of push up in the lane a little bit there, and also they have kind of an umbrella to retreat underneath. The Lucio's going to be able to boostio them around here, and then now they can just rotate between lanes because, well, VDZ does not have a mount, and so Lucio with that speed boost does allow them to kind of have that. And scouting out that biotic emitter there and making sure, well, do we go in on this? No, it's not going to be the case. VDZ with this just consistent damage. What did they go into at level 1? Advanced Artillery. So they went for the extra splash and range, extra splash range. But Kael'thas will be the first kill of the game, going over to the members of Jailbait. They get the clear onto this, and we'll see what they're able to do, as Arthas is going to be trying to push it in Imperious, and Imperious getting the Celestial Charge. Energy Hots, what's up? A wild 2-0 appears. You believe so? I don't know. I always hope for I always hope for 3 games in a best of 3 series. But I really hope. I just want 3 games. That's really it. We do have Streakwing is going to be picking up this camp with the friendly members. They actually delayed this out right as the objective popped up, and the one thing I want to note is that often we see teams prioritize that right at the 1 minute mark because the fact that midway through the first objective, you can actually cycle down there and grab a second turret camp, and you can use that to re-engage if you are losing the point. It's an added benefit that you can grab, but you can already see that this camp on the right-hand side is going to get pinged and no one's going to be there. VDZ is going to be setting up on that not even Artanis, on the Sergeant Hammer here. They just sit onto the point. Meanwhile, Ariel and Vala will be grabbing the camp in the top right for some pressure. So both these teams doing different things. We do have the siege camp still up and available on the left-hand side. Now that they have their camp for top lane, they can move in on this. ETC is going to be trying just to make their little bit of headway into this, also taking out some of those spider mines just to not be a nuisance. And Alan Hicks trying to get the Celestial Charge, doesn't connect. Joe DiMaggio now giving them a bit of a heckle here. Galaxy is just getting that charge up as well from the Vala who's poking out. Alan Hicks taking a lot of damage. They do get the burst, and with the Celestial Charge, they might be able to make it out. Unfortunately, the healing from Lucia is not going to be quick enough. Biotic Emitter will be coming out in favor for the members of Jailbait, but Lunch Bunch, they make it out just fine. Lubu, sitting at 84%. They give this over. They'll rotate into top lane, get the clear onto this. They'll wait for their Imperious to come back, and they'll re-engage. Camp on the right-hand side still up and available. Seems like it's going to be grabbed right now for the second engagement, which works out really well for them. We do have a minute left on the fortification camp on the left-hand side, and VDZ working on that clear in the bottom lane for that 7 talent tier as well, and just making Arthas not have the best time in this bottom lane. Macintosh? Macrota? I keep on saying Macintosh. I don't... They don't have their 7s yet. Kael'thas maybe gets that with the wave clear in this this mid lane. Oh, does need the Mana Addict regen glow, but that is going to be the 7's achieved. Turret camp does go down. They do pop the Iron Skin on the Joanna, the H2O, taking a lot of damage here, trying to survive, and this is exactly what I was talking about with the double support. Nobody is going down. They're getting everyone whittled down so close, but unfortunately they aren't able to pick up any sort of kills. H2O cycles out, gets a little bit of healing from their... I don't know the... Echo Petal. No, that's not right. Echo Petal's, I think, a talent. Is it Echo? No, Echo Petal is like a 16 talent or something like that. Anyways, they'll be getting a little bit of healing from themselves and also armor. They grab the first Jiggler Protector and move in through mid lane, as we often do see teams play with this. It's just going to be opening that up and then moving up into the top lane. While we have this little bit of lull in the game, let's go ahead and show some other numbers here. Take a peek at what the healing's been like, as well as the experience and some of the damage numbers. Because realistically, this Triggler Protector is going to get some value. They're not going to be pressuring up quite hard with it. They want to go for the well in this top lane here, but if opening up the gate is yielded, that's also just as good. They're moving forward here, but this Triggler Protector will go down. Nice use of the Power Glove onto the hammer, but a lot of damage goes onto the Ana. But as I said, the healing is just so good. They drop the Biotic Grenade on themselves. Ariel gets the heal, and boom, they're back to 100% healing or health. It's double support. It's hard to deal with. I'm curious to see how the members of Lubu actually deal with this in this game, because it's finding that burst is going to be so difficult. And overall, with the 3 kills that have gone over, this is going to be Galaxy taking a decent amount of damage. They get the self heal. Not able to chase anything else here. That's exactly what I'm talking about. They try and dive onto one, they can't get the kill. We do have Imperious, though, rotating up in this mid. Half a level away from 10, so they want to try and take a fight now on the side of Lubu. And I think you can tell by the posturing of Jailbait, they know this. They're just like, no, we don't want to be giving over a fight for you. You can back up. Back on up. Point B will be opening up fairly soon as well. They are going to be opting to go for the Biotic Emitter in this top lane, which is just going to be having essentially a third support in these engagements that they're going to be starting here. Ragastellar just going to be working on that. H2O going to be pushing them back as well. We do have 10s achieved by the members of Jailbait. They do have that Mosh Pit, Army of the Undead, Rain of Vengeance from the Vala, Nano Boost from the Tyrande, from the Ana, and Crystal Aegis is going to be from the Ariel. It's the nice use of the Condemn as well as the clear from Kael'thas with the Flame Strike. I've read the minimap like backwards somehow really quickly, and I was like, oh, that's an aggressive invade coming out from Lubu with that ping, but no. We actually have the aggressive invade coming out from Jailbait. They do have 10s themselves, and we do have, that is going to be the invade coming in. H2O is trying to make their way. That will be the Detainment Strike onto the Johanna, knock him back. They do have Imperius in this backline. That will be the Angelic Armament's going to be used here, and we also have the Biotic Emitter dropped. So many members in this backline are getting low, but they aren't able to get this nice use of the break it down, but Alan Hicks is going to be so low. They actually have the Celestial Charge onto the ETC. Fragile coming in. They get the kill onto the Imperius. And they find it onto Streak Wing, and I think they do here. Macro Toss, so low, pops the Iron Skin, but I don't think they're able to get this here. They try and get as much ability damage out, but that Hungering Arrow is hungering for death, and they pick up a 3rd kill. Top lane does have some pressure, but they'll be able to rotate up here quick enough. They do send someone over to the right-hand side as well, and now we're going to be having Point B opening up on top of all of that. The lucky thing is, death timers are not the longest in the world, so we are going to be having everyone back up and available for the next engagement. Alright, just grabbing this camp in bottom. Rotation from the team. Oh, but they want to try and get on this before Arthas can finish it, and they will. They have the knockback from VDZ. They'll push him off the point. Chase onto Joe DiMaggio. Can they get the gravity lapse? No, they don't. Galthos did finish their Mana Edicts. They do have that panic button. Makrota, I thought they were going to try and go on the point to get the contest, but not the case here. At least show some of the healing numbers while we have all the, excuse me, healing numbers. Show some of these numbers as we get prepped for this next point. There is no real big advantage, only a level lead over the enemy team. H2O going to be staying on the point as long as they can. They have that power slide. The knockback will be there as well. I'm trying to find a flank onto this. That'll be a lot of damage going on to Fragistelli. The stasis will be there, and the 65 health. If they can just get a little bit of damage, they find that kill onto Vala. Break it down is going to be used. Mosh Pit onto a couple of members is going to be interrupted. Kael'thas does have the Phoenix out, as well as that turret camp will be ending. Nice use of the Celestial Charge. Angelic Armaments onto Joe DiMaggio. They have the Arm of the Undead as well. Power slide from the ETC, knockback from Mario doesn't connect, and they just reset this fight. 57% in favor for the members of Jailbait, and Lubu makes their way onto this point, and they hold it over for the time being. Once Vala's back, watch to see that re-engagement happen extremely hard. Ooh. 27% rising. This use of Hammer's range here, and also the Napalm Strike is a great way to kind of just open this up in Siege and just trying to get some extra poke. We didn't have Hover Siege. We actually have graduated range picked up for that Hammer. No, excuse me, Hover Siege is at level 4. So we have regenerative bios. No. It's at level 7. Because level 4 is where you have the nano, you can get the self-cleanse with the nano steel-plated coating, or I can't remember the name for it. Either way, that is going to be Imperius going down. That will be the Rain of Vengeance, locking them down for that last couple seconds. Another Rain of Vengeance burst coming out from Fragistelli. They also do have that enemy who's trying to get as much ability damage out as possible. VDZ is going to get bursted down. Sergeant Hammer is out of here as 2-0 trade, and 13 is going to be found by the members of them. Lucio goes down to the Vala as well. I believe there's a Hungering Arrow just hungering after them. And now a third Trigla, or excuse me, the second Trigla Protector. Looks like it's going to be going over to the members of Jailbait, and they find the burst. The power slide will be there, and they get the kill on Johanna. Quadruple kill. And they only lost their Vala at 1 point there. Move over to the Biotic Emitter. Looks like they'll want to grab that on top of all of this. All right. So the one thing I was waiting for a couple seconds. I wanted to see how they're gonna play this. If they go through the top lane, do they try and go for a keep here? Do they get that consistent catapult pressure, or do they opt for the periodic catapult pressure and passive experience gain through top and mid lane? And with the positioning of this Trigla Protector, it looks like it's going to be exactly that. They rotate this thing down into mid. They'll be able to take down this fort as well. Hammer already going to be setting up down here just to try and get as much whittling done as possible, as this Trigla Protector does focus on the fort here. Rest of the team not too far behind. Detainment Strike will be finished as well. Searing Lashes? Repeated offense. Oh, wait, hold on. Okay. Army of the Undead is actually going to be popped there. So I think they want to use that to tank this front gate a little bit more. They want to open up mid on top of all of that. Bottom lane's often where you see the priority, but I guess they say, hey, we don't have much longer on this Trigla Protector. Let's get some value. VDZ ends up going down to the Trigla Protector there. The combo end up getting the kill. Double root going out from Arthas as well. Biotic will be used. They take out this front gate. They still have 10 seconds left on the Trickle Protector, but there's no real big minion wave that does come in here, but that also will be cleared out by the Kilthas easily. They rotate into the bottom, and I would expect maybe just the gate to get some damage. Nope. Trickle Protector goes down. We do see the pings in the fortification camp. It's 15 to 13. Talontier is going to be even, but they don't have their Sergeant Hammer. Knockback from H2O. Makrota says, nah, it's not worth it, and they back off and give this over. That does push them near their 16s. They can grab this right-hand side, or just some little experience from this mid lane, and that'll yield them their 16s as well. 13 to 16 levels. Completely different game number 2 than we saw in the first. See how Lubu is able to respond to this. Sergeant Hammer pick seems to be working for them, but the only thing is it's just such a slow play. It's not allowing them to really get the big damage they're looking for in the sense of they can whittle them down so quiet. What? What's up? By the way, what's up, Demi? But yeah. They're able to whittle them down, but the healing from the double support is going to be way too much, and they're not really going to be able to get too much. I think there was like maybe it was queued up for the power slide into the mosh pit, and since it was queued, then it automatically went. The knockback just completely mitigated all of that engagement there. So we back off. 16 talent tier on the side of Jailbait. Joe DiMaggio clearing up top lane, trying to get some extra pressure with that catapult. Power slide from the ETC. They had a lot of good setup there. That Hungering Arrow really chasing and getting a lot of extra damage from them. They just want to get the 16s. You can see them. The moment they see the enemy team, they're just like, no thanks. I really don't want to do this right now. So they back right out of there, and it's going to be absolutely fine. But Alan Hicks, they don't have their 16 still. Uses Celestial Charge to get out. Trying to use as much as they can. That is going to be the Angelic Armament coming out, but it's not going to get them too much here. Break It Down is going to be used by the Lucio. They do have the Army of the Undead being popped, and now they have also the Nano Boost onto the Vala. Alan Hicks taking so much damage here. That will be the blind going out as well. They get the burst onto Imperius, and that will be the first one down during this thing. Oh, nice triple root going to be going out. Hammer's going to be coming out from the Joanna as well. Oh, chat room's so quiet. That's okay. People can watch the game if they want. I'm not gonna. I don't force people to talk. I'm just glad that people come and watch the games. That's all I care about. Put on some awesome casting for some people, and I hope you all enjoy it. Alrighty. Point C will be opening up, and it's pretty late in the game. It yields quite the value for the friendly team, whoever gets the Trickle Up Protector. We'll see what friendly team that's going to be. We also have the 16 talent tiers for both teams. Sergeant Hammer's still holding that 16 talent tier. What are you going for?
Terminal activated.
They go for their camp on the left-hand side. Point C opens up. Gonna be going for Exterminator. Or excuse me, Executioner. Exterminator, I believe, is the Rainer level 1 for that you often see on Battlefield of Eternity. Bandit looking for the flank here. Pull away these talents really quickly. I'm waiting for the engagement. Alan Hicks goes in. No Celestial Charge. Rest of the team comes in here. Nice knockback from Galaxy. Pushes them right away. That's a nice Howling Blast and a lot of damage, but they actually have to break it down just in time. We do have the mosh pit on the conveyor belt. Phoenix comes out as well. Everything is going to be used here, and that is going to be Streakwing going down. Vala goes down, though. Bandit will be the next one. VDZ should be next to follow. A 3-for-1 trade that will be Makrota alive with the Imperius, but Imperius is trying to make their way out, and Alan Hicks does drop the camp there, or excuse me, the turret camp. And they try and just make their way out. The Celestial Charge to make sure that happens. Howling Blast, knockback, and that will be Imperius going down. Looks like the Trickle Up Protector goes over to the members of Jailbait, and they move through bottom lane. I enjoy your oh, thank you so much, Demi. I appreciate that. I really do. Thanks. Thanks for coming by. All right, Trickle Up Protector is going to be grabbed. You can see they've moved it into mid lane. I'll say this. If you had a Syndragosa, you could siege this so much quicker. My talent recommendations are never to be taken seriously. But this will be the Trickle Protector moving into the mid lane, and with just the Imperius coming back, Trickle Protector is quite healthy. They're going to try and burn this down as best they can. Amber does get in that siege mode. But here's the thing, this thing is still 77% and is chunking onto the core. Looks like, ladies and gentlemen, we got ourselves a game number 3 in this best of 3 series between Lubu and Jailbait. GG. Well played. Alrighty, I can at least show some of the stats and talents. ETC did have stacks on Proc Rock, but when you're in the Trickle Protector, it actually shows all of your quests at 0. It's a weird. I don't know if it does it for just the UI that I use, or if it does it for all UIs. But yeah, just so you know, he was probably done with that, and he was just in the Trickle Protector, so it doesn't show as being completed. 22. Oh, increasing clarity. Sacred Sweep is the actual ability itself. I had that backwards. And we have the Detainment Strike, Repeated Defense, which is the... I said all of these backwards. But that was a good game, too. That was a really good game, too. Let's go ahead. I'm going to pull this away. I'll go ahead and get out of this replay and get ourselves into the third game. Boop. Okay, no one changed sides. Yes. Alrighty. Oh, maybe we'll grab another game after this. I think there's a game at like 7:30 I might be able to grab, so we might be able to do a live game after we do this set here. I don't know, casting 3 sets, that sounds pretty good today. Let me, really quickly, let me just check and see that set's up and available. Because that would be in like 45-ish minutes. I think that's doable. 7:30. Lurk Patrol versus Dive. This is Division C West. Okay, let's take this game. Hold on. Let me just claim this game for 7:30. So we'll do a third best of 3 series after this best of 3 series, and then that'll be the last set of the night. But still, we're gonna be starting that at 7:30, so we've got a little bit of time. I just quickly want to grab that game and also just message the teams that I'm going to be casting them, so they do know that they've got a game that I'm going to be casting. Dive Hard, I think was the name. Dive. Fingers. Lurk Patrol versus Dive Hard, 7:30 PDT. What's your name? Comment. Caster URL. Let me go get that. I booped it. Submit. And then let me go into NGS and let the teams know. Sorry for the slight delay. I just want to get this all set up. Dive Hard versus I don't remember who it was, and it just disappeared. Calendar. Lurk Patrol. Okay, cool. Sorry, I was messaging the team so they know at 7:20 we'll do the coin flip. Because it's 6:50 now, half an hour for this next game. I don't know about that, but I just quickly want to say thank you all so much for hanging out. I really appreciate it. For everyone watching, lurking, chatting, I love you all. Thank you so much for being here. This is game number 3 between Lubu and Jailbait. This is our second best of 3 series of the evening. We've got a live match coming up at 7:30 Pacific Standard Time. So if you want to see more live games, that's going to be coming up. This is just, we did a replay cast because there's such an awkward amount of time between that 5 o'clock game and when a 7-ish or 7 o'clock game could start. So I was like, let's fill it in. We'll see where we land with time. This is where we're at. So thank you so much for being here. I just want to keep you all up to date on what our schedule is. So this is not the last match of the evening. We have got another best of 3 after this one. Do not go anywhere. But let's get into this. This is more important. We got ourselves a game number 3. On the left-hand side, we have got the members of Lubu up a game trying to clinch this best-of-3 series. Bandit will be on the Gul'dan. Makrata going to be on the Garrosh. Streakwing will be on the Stukov. VDZ going to be on the Cassia. And we have Alan Hicks on the Dahaka. On the right-hand side, we've got the members of Jailbait, with Galaxy going to be on the Greymane, Joe DiMaggio going to be on the Arthas, Skay going to be on the Ana. We have the Hanzo going to be played by Fragastellar, and H2O on that Uther. And thank you, actually, H2O, so much for the follow. I appreciate that, bud. Welcome. Thank you for supporting the channel. Rip Lubu? Why are we already saying that, Bandit? I'm sorry, bud. He's been, like, my dog's been so thrown off this entire night because this is the second time where I'm casting Lubu, and I have been saying the player name Bandit, and it's the same name as my dog, and he just keeps, like, perking up every so often. He's like, oh, wait, what, me? Hold on, they're trying chasing into this, but they are not able to capitalize just yet. Okay, so early game, just going to be getting rotations between the bottom and mid. Top lane, we are going to be having Galaxy and Skay going to be pushing up here as best as they can. This Greymane does siege very, very well, and going into the Dahaka, this is going to be an easy and fun time for Galaxy and Skay, but now Makrata is going to get the toss onto the Ana, but they don't get the chase. Hanzo goes down in the bottom lane to Gul'dan, and that will be the Ana going down. Now, Streakwing, if they can get like one auto, that'll be half the HP of Uther there, because, well, Stukov hits like an absolute bus. The two members go down on the side of Jailbait at the start of this match, and we can actually see just a good example of what experience actually comes through from 2 kills before about a minute, and 2 kills yielded them near 700 experience. Actually closer, I guess we'll round down here. It's going to be more like 600 experience. Either way, that yield from hero kills, it's not the biggest push in the world, but what happens is your ability to soak up some of the lanes, it becomes a priority, and also being able to position for this VDZ. 1 minute 41 into this game, already picking up the Dragonite. That is a quick rotation and a very, very well communicated rotation. And I was just looking in this top lane just to see, because the Greymane was getting really close to the gate right there. And this is also going to be, oh, excuse me, Caldiorn. Thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate that, bud. Thank you for the support. This Dragonite's still very healthy. 30 seconds on it, 77% on its health. Took out the mid lane gate a little bit. We still have top lane getting pushed in by that Dahaka, and now they move into bottom lane. And let's talk about lane sustain. I talked about it in almost every game so far, so why would this be any different? This is going to be the bottom lane well prioritized, and the reason being is because now when you have to fight over this objective coming up, you don't have that lane for some of the sustain. You can actually see every ability is going to be used there. They're focusing so highly on the well to make sure that they take that out. That isn't going to be available. But Joe DiMaggio with this huge flank coming out. Toss goes out from Garrosh. The Sun's going to be there as well, trying to get a nice double Howling Blast into a couple members, but they aren't able to capitalize just yet. Fragastellar with all this damage from Hanzo is really strong, and the Sleep Dart does not connect. Looks like Dahaka's going to be on double duty, rotating into the mid lane while Greymane still pushes out the top. We do have, I thought I actually saw this camp getting picked up. I thought that's what that ping was, but I think they're pinging to go for that camp on the right-hand side, or at least maybe to help Greymane in that top lane, who does push up this wave. Going to be trying to siege up into this, and Dahaka has something to say about that. They are missing a little bit on this experience. That's the only bad part about having to do that double duty without having the agility from level 1, because they did go into tissue regeneration, so they're going to be a little bit more beefy than having that NASCAR Dahaka per se, where you can get that speed boost through the bushes. I love that speed boost agility at level 1 for Dahaka, because you can rotate so quickly, and you're a little quick dinosaur. It's the best. As I said, I probably have the worst opinion on talents here, but this is going to be the bottom camp rotated on. Nice use of Makrata here, just zoning for the friendly team, just making sure no one's going to be coming in on this camp. And now that they actually see where the rotation's coming in, they back off and they say, let's push into mid or into bottom. And also they have their 7 talent here. Some pings coming up for top lane. Joe DiMaggio still soaking up that mid. Uther best tank. I mean, we've seen it in the past. Main tank Uther. I'm just rotating around the map, just checking out and seeing, wow, that tongue drag going out onto Ana. But here's the thing, the camp is going to be prioritized by the gates. If there was no camp there, those 2 towers probably would have taken out the Ana because their health pool is not the biggest in the world. The team is coming up here, though. VDZ gets Jovan, that with the blinds coming out from Cassia. Nice use of the Howling Blast to zone and make sure no one chases in. But with the camp popping up fairly soon, they might need to deal with that. Sorry, I thought a message was for me. They hold over top. For the time being, it's Ana and Greymane, though. This is going to be a little difficult for Alan Hicks. Sleep Dart goes out. They don't connect. Bandit will be here, popping out a little bit more damage. Rotation, though, coming through. H2O will catch Streakwing here. That's going to be a Stukov in a bit of a bad spot. This isn't going to be able to do too much. The stun will be there as well, and that will be Stukov going down to the Arthas. And now mid lane was going to be a contest for a little bit, but Garrosh has run into bottom. We do have Bandit in top lane. Galaxy is going to be trying to get the kill. They do. And now here's the question. Can Ana have the healing in time? And it should be enough. But VDZ, they don't see the flank from VDZ. And they come in here. That will be Greymane going down. Joe DiMaggio chasing right after. They have the channel on to this point. If actually, I was about to say, if they could brush talk into that mid lane and get that, that'd be huge for them. Tongue Drag goes out onto the Arthas. But here's the thing. Ana needs to be the target. Joe DiMaggio has so much good sustain. And with Ana consistently getting the healing as well, this is going to be a fight that doesn't go over well for them. And Cassia is going to be taken out here. Alan Hicks knows this and they need to back off. Stukov coming in here, getting the slow. And now mid lane is a potential Dragonite for the members of Jailbait. Fragastellar rotating in here. Brushtalk is going to be used by Alan Hicks as well. They do not want that Dragonite in their favor. We saw how much value they got with so many of those Triglav protectors. Makrota will be able to go ahead and get the pickup onto that. And we do have the Hansa going down in the mid lane here. We have a bit of a battle between H2O and Makrota. Just this battle right here between Garrosh and Uther. It's such a hard battle for Makrota, but here's the thing, VDZ is coming in here trying to help out. That will be the ball lightning go out onto a couple members, bouncing back and forth quite a bit. Mid lane will be available for a couple seconds, but Uther's still on that point, so they're not able to capitalize just yet. We do have that 10 talent tier for everyone here. And it looks like it's pretty much the standard talents across the board, nothing too out of the ordinary. We're not going to be seeing any sort of fun Cinder Ghosts, so we're just going to be getting the Arm of the Undead. Galaxy going to get tongue dragged there, get a couple get a little bit of damage put onto them, and they just back off because, well, Ana's going to have the best healing for them. At least in this top lane. I was just about to rotate down there. We have the D shield on Joe DiMaggio. They go in on the Gul'dan and take them down. 6-6 in forts. Nothing's really gone down. Some front gates a little bit here, there. 4-4 in kills and 11-11 in levels. This game number 3 is so extremely close between these two teams. Just gonna be wait. They're just gonna be waiting. I was like, anyone gonna be rotating into bottom to try and take that fight? No, they're just going into mid. Looking for H2O here. They have the Groundbreaker, the slows are there, the toss back into the friendly team. They have the self-heal. Ball lightning goes out, and as long as they're staying next to Cassie, that's a bit of a hard time. Hanzo with the arrow out of nowhere to get some stun on this for a couple seconds. That will be the Armenian Dead pop. That will be the root as well onto VDZ. They're taking so much damage. The friendly toss keeps them out of there. And Ana trying to just make sure that the friendly team stays alive. Now we have Makrota getting chased, and they're in a bit of a bad spot. They do have the Indomitable potentially. Orify goes out to separate them, and that will be the Dahaka in top lane getting the conversion over onto that. No availability for the Dragonite on the side of Jailbait. Bottom lane, it's got some pressure. They'll be able to just clear this out before it takes too much. It will be losing the rest of that front gate, but they save their fort. They won't be getting any sort of pressure in onto them. Now, Galaxy getting the clear onto this. Rolls forward. They do have the... They're kind of flanking onto this, but Makrota now comes in here as well. Let's see where they're able to throw this. The tongue drag of it. The tongue drag should be there for Alan Hicks. Unless I think they just used it on the Ana there. And they didn't go for the cooldown reduction. Burrow from the brush talk from the Dahaka will be taking them down to that bottom lane. They're still pushing in through top, and they've got this camp as well. Army of the Undead's going to be available in 17 seconds. Huge flank, though, coming out from the members of Jailbait, and they get a couple members rooted there. Nice massive shove will disengage. Ball Lightning does connect onto a couple and still bouncing around. Warlord's challenge onto a few there, and now we have the silence continuing, and we also have Joe DiMaggio with so much. Oh my god, the arrow from Hanzo sets up so much there as Cassia goes down. Stukov the next one to follow. Bandit a little bit low here. They're trying to put that damage out, but they go down as well. Channel available, but it is going to be stopped in this top lane. Dahaka does have bottom lane held over, and this will be stalled out a little bit here. Death timer's not the longest. They should be able to rotate someone down into bottom lane, and as long as they can get that converted before they make a massive rotation into mid, this is going to be the first Dragonite in favor for the members of Jailbait. But still sitting on our second Dragonite of the game potential here. I didn't actually look back at the talents as we have hit 13 for both these teams. Hanzo actually does also have the oh well. Hanzo has a lot of damage being put onto them. Nice agility over the wall. They also tried to use the isolation to get the last little bit of damage onto them there, so that will be a 60-second cooldown. They're not going to get back for a bit. But they continue to hold over bottom lane. This is exactly the play you wanted to make on the side of Lubu. As long as you're not giving over that one lane, you can at least not have a Dragonite against your team. The Brushtalk should actually be available for Alan Hicks soon. Maybe we'll see them go up there for the defense, but actually they just say, let's trade out these lanes, because bottom lane might be a little bit stronger than that top lane, and we're seeing quite the burn onto that fort. Not able to siege into that quick enough here. Ooh, they will be grabbing the Bruiser camp. Can they invade onto this? No. Greymane and Ana were looking at this for a second. They're just like, let's back off. Let's go ahead and actually keep sieging into this. And now, chase onto Alan Hicks. Hanzo with these arrows. That is also going to be the Bruiser camp and bottom lane picked up. 15s are here. They're only a level off from that 16 talent tier. Availability for the Dragonite. You can see Greymane doubled back in that rotation. No one on the top point here. No one on the bottom. They actually getting forced back here, and that's going to be a sleep dart. Alan Hick goes down, and they pick up the Dragonite in favor for the members of Jailbait. They push this in through mid lane. What do we got? Bottom lane pressure. Dragonite coming through. 16s are almost here. What is the play coming out from the members of Jailbait? Take out the fort. They still have a camp pushing up through the bottom lane that needs to be addressed at some point. They're going to rotate into mid. Looks like they'll open that up as well. Just going to be trying to get that periodic catapult as well as the passive experience gain. And they'll also be getting their 16s from that wave right there. So now they have a talent tier advantage. Once this Dragonite goes down in the next 20-some seconds or 50-some percent, they'll have to address it that way. Or at least they have to address the engagement, because this Greymane is very far forward in this Dragonite. Okay, they do start to back out. I was like, that was a little bit of a risky spot, but they play it absolutely fine. Alan Hicks is back as well. Scatter arrow does go out. Oh, gonna be coming out here. They're waiting. They're just waiting patiently here. Nice use of the burrow just to make sure they don't get kicked away. Galaxy comes out of the Dragonite, and now 14 to 16. Top lane's got pressure on it. We're getting to that later and later half of the game, so death timers are becoming longer and longer, and with the maps opening up for both teams fairly well, I think there's only really a structure advantage in the fact that mid lane's more taken down in favor for the members of Jailbait. But bottom lane, there's a lot of win conditions through that. Tongue drag onto Joe DiMaggio down here from Alan Hicks. They do have the Arm of the Undead pop. That means that they want to go into this fight. That will be Galaxy diving onto VDZ. They pop the I can't think of it. Either way, they're going to be diving on here. That will be Fragastellar with the nano boost as well. The Divine Shield kept Greymane alive during that entire engagement. Fragastellar diving over the wall says, I don't really care about Garrosh. Keeps fighting, and they take down the Garrosh, Cassia, and Gul'dan. All that is left is the Stukov and the Haka. And with the death timers, this is what I was talking about. Now you could really pressure this up. They've got bottom lane really, really well stacked. They could just pressure with this entire thing, and that's what we're going to be seeing a couple members do. Arthas has some decent siege, and so does the Greymane. We'll actually see Greymane going into the mid lane. They want to find that 20 before anything else. Actually, we have a little bit of a slow moment here with at least the experience and talents coming in, so let's show some of the other numbers that everyone's a little more interested in. The healing numbers, as well as the experience, but you can see that all the members are back on the side of Lubu. Members of Jailbait just back off as they've taken down the front gate. And now 16s will be achieved fairly soon. Greymane sieges in through mid. They take down the fort there. They've opened up the map a little bit more for themselves. They actually move over to the aggressive side Bruiser camps, and they'll be picking those up as well. It's very aggressive to come out and steal those away, but they will be able to make that connection. And now, oh, the real aggressive move. They move on to Dahaka, who does have those tunneling claws. They get the stun from H2O. Body blocks will be there. The ball lightning goes out. Dahaka goes down. Arrow from Hanzo to set something up, but not able to follow much more there. They're fighting on this death bridge that not a lot of people enjoy doing. VDZ getting locked down. They're taking so much. Hanzo confirms the kill with that last little arrow. Greymane dives in with the D shield, trying to get the kill, and the go for the throat as well, but the gate gets in the way. Puppey is kept back, and they have to disengage and go back for the fort. 3 forts taken down very quickly here, and without their Dahaka, they don't have any sort of brush stock or global value, so I would expect maybe Uther to rotate down here. They leave one in mid. Arthas is already in top lane, prepping for that, so grabbing this camp will be perfect for them. Once again, with a double support, I would say just throw one of the support players into that Dragon Knight. You can actually see H2O is going to be posturing up for that. They could go through bottom lane. It has opened up a little bit for themselves. That continual catapult pressure would big. Oh no, they're going to be here in time, and now Joe DiMaggio and friends need to make sure that they have the stall into this. Dahaka did brush talk into bottom lane. Ana going for the channel onto this Dragon Knight. No one able to stall this out, as there's a chase currently happening in bottom lane with Galaxy and Frag Stellar, but they pick up the Dragon Knight. Third one of the game, if I'm not mistaken. Also, I just did not see it. Jason, thank you so much for the raid. Welcome, everybody. We are currently doing a replay cast, and then we are going to be diving into a live game between Dive Hard and Lurk Patrol. But we still have this game in front of us here, and let's see where it goes. We have the Dragon Knight moving in through the bottom lane. This is fairly late here. It's 15 minutes. 20 is not achieved yet on the side of Jailbait, but they're looking for it with a little experience as well as some kills. That will be the ball lightning going out, separating a couple members here. They have to spread out. Silence and nice isolation and tongue drag, but the kick goes out onto the Dahaka just to stop all of that onto Joe DiMaggio. Really back into the fight here. Now Galaxy diving in. Hanzo with the arrow gets the kill onto Cassie. They find one onto the Stukov as well. Bandit trying to get the life drain, but Hanzo with the arrow will confirm the kill onto them. Macrotosh goes down here, and Hanzo jumps over the wall. That will be the Dragon Knight taking down the core, and it looks like game number 3 is going to be going over to the members of Jailbait. GG. Well played. Whoosh. Alrighty, let's take a peek at some of those numbers while I hydrate. I'll restart my recording now.